Today I'd like to present what we did back in July in 2019. As you may have known or first have heard, but there were World Championship in Gwangju 2019 back in July. So our doctors from our society and some of the local doctors participated in this event, international sports event, and we ran a Korean medicine clinic at the Polyclinic in the Athletics Village for the athletes and staffs from all over the world. And these are some of the statistics from those events, and I'd like to present those results today. Before I begin, some of you are not familiar with our society, so I'd like to introduce a little bit about our society. Our Society of Sports Korean Medicine was first founded in 1984, right before there were big sport events in South Korea. As you may have known, there were 1986 Busan Asian Games in Korea, and in 1988, as you know, there were Seoul Olympic Games in South Korea as well. And our society consists of over 1,000 Korean medicine doctors, and we have participated in many various international sports events, and as well as some of our members are working as a team doctor for professional teams and as well as for the national teams in some sports. And we have recently participated in 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics last year, and it was the first time in the history of the International Olympic Committee to have a acupuncture clinic in the Polyclinic. So these are the pictures from the various events I have participated. Since I work with the national team of volleyball, these are the events I have participated as a team doctor. And, these pictures come from the 2014 Incheon Asian Games, and there were many athletes and staffs came to visit the Korean medicine clinic to get treatment, acupuncture and Chuna medicine as well. And these are the pictures of 2015 Gwangju University Games, and there were student athletes coming all over from the world to get acupuncture treatment and Chuna medicine as well. And these pictures were taken from the last year, and in 2018 there were Pyeongchang Olympic Games, and there were athletes coming to get their treatment with acupuncture for the musculoskeletal disease as well as their internal medicine issues. So this picture is on the left is one of the staff member from Colombia, and he had a bowel syndrome, so he came to get acupuncture treatment. And the picture on the right is the speed skating medalist athlete from the United States, and before his competition, he had a problem with his thighs, and so he came to get acupuncture treatment as well. So, since some of you are not familiar with what is sports Korean medicine, I would like to introduce a little bit about sports Korean medicine. And we use acupuncture mainly, and we also do our hand-ons, and we do Chuna medicine as well, and we do use taping for the prevent injuries and as well as rehab for the rehabs. And the aim of sports Korean medicine is to provide non-invasive, human-friendly and doping-free care. As you have known, athletes are very sensitive about the doping issue when they participate in competition. For example, in international sports events, athletes travel a lot from all over to the world for their competition, so they normally get upper respiratory infections during the flight or after the flight. But as you have known, all the medicines used for the UPIs, they have epinephrine for their substance, and it's all banned from the world anti-doping agencies as well, so they cannot take any medication freely. But in these cases, acupuncture and maybe other treatment using sports Korean medicine can help those issues. And for the musculoskeletal issues as well, since the athletes are not allowed to take any injections or injections, it's all banned by the IOC, so whenever they have a problem, so they can be treated better with the acupuncture in terms of doping issues. So, like I mentioned before, the advantage of sports Korean medicine is all the methods we use are all doping-free methods approved by the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. And whenever International Olympic Committee, they host a sports event, they provide this official document. And in those needle policy official document, the acupuncture is mentioned as free from the doping issue, so you don't have to use any forms before using it. Otherwise, if we try to use like injections, something like that, you have to get a permission from the IOC committees as well. And we do have excellent maneuverability, so many of Korean medicine doctors are participating in national sports event, international sports events, because we can just carry on some of the acupuncture needles and not that much of equipment and as well. And our method is cost effective, so it's used in many fields of sports nowadays. And one of the history marks of the clinic we did in FINA 2019 Gwangju World Championship is that it's the first time ever in the history of the FINA World Championship to officially use acupuncture in the Athletes Village Polyclinic, and we had our own department as for the treatment. So these are the pictures of our clinic back in July in Gwangju, and as you can see in the polyclinic there were many other departments like emergency medicine and internal medicine, sports medicine, and etc. And as you can see right there with the arrow, Korean medicine was operated as a single department as well. And these are some of the pictures from our clinic. As you can see, we have a bed for the acupuncture treatment and for the Chunya manual medicine as well. And these are the participants of 2019 Gwangju FINA World Championship, and these are the pictures of participating Korean medicine doctors. And our clinic was every day before and after the championship period. We ran our clinic from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's about like 12 hours a day. And during the World Championship period was from July 5th till 29th of July, so that's about like 24 days of clinic days. And medical staffs, 40 doctors were participating, taking their turns, and 28 from local, they came from Gwangju, and 12 from our society have participated in this event. And treatment we provided there was mainly acupuncture, and we did Chuna manual medicine and taping therapy, and to treat musculoskeletal disease as well as internal medicine issues. So the athletes and staff came to the clinic was the sport injuries mainly, and some of the illness as well. So number of cases officially reported in 2019 FINA World Championship, there were at the Polyclinic 3,080 cases were reported in every department, and among them 1,135 cases were treated in the Korean medicine clinic, and that ranked number one among the polyclinics. So many athletes and staff from over the world, they were very satisfied with the treatment we provided in Gwangju. And the category of patients is, as you can see, athlete ranked among the first, and 576 cases were reported under the category of athlete, and 221 team official cases, and others, the numbers as you can see on the screen now. And the type of sports they play, this was only taken from the athletes, since staffs or other volunteers and other participants didn't have any type of sport they play. So surprisingly, that since the swimming, under the category of swimming, they have the most participating athletes, so the result came exactly the same, and 324 cases were reported under the swimming athletes, and the second was the water polo. Since you have seen water polo games, they have like all of this physical contact as well, so they get more injuries as well. And 76 artistic swimming cases were reported, and 71 from the category of diving, and only 3 cases in the category of high diving. And the nationality was taken as information as well, and since the international sports events were taken in Korea, under the nationality of Republic of South Korea, were reported the most in 327 cases. And besides that, many athletes and staff came from Russia, Republic of South Africa, and New Zealand, and Kazakhstan, Egypt, and Kuwait, and Great Britain, and Israel. And numbers are shown on the screen as well. So not only people from Korea, but athletes from other parts of the world came to clinic as well. And the injury and illness ratio is shown on the screen like this, and it's pretty much the same as the other reports and papers published by IOC, since in the sports event, the more injuries occur than illness. So our case was pretty much the same. The number was that 89% of the patients visited in the clinic, they come from sport injuries, and only 11% came with the illness. And the injured body parts are shown on the screen like this, and the most injured body parts, athletes and staffs, they came with body trunk issues, and 50% of them suffer from the body trunk injuries, and 18% from the lower limbs, and 13% with upper limbs, and 8% with head and neck injuries, and 11%, etc. This is the first visit and revisit ratio. So among those 1,135 cases, first visit was 47% among those cases, and the revisit was 53% of those cases. And the type of treatment performed is shown on the screen, and the numbers don't add up to 100, because if the athlete come to the Korean medicine clinic, and on the same day he can get an acupuncture treatment and taping therapy, or maybe cupping or physio as well. So we collected all those data. So this means that among the athletes or staff or whatever who visited the Korean medicine clinic, 64% of them had acupuncture treatment, and 64% of them had the Tuna-Medium medicine, and 16% of them had cupping, and 15% of them had physiotherapy. So, like shown in this data, the acupuncture and Tuna-Medium medicine are most preferred treatment among those athletes and staffs who visited the clinic. And since all the participants come from the different part of the world, some of them had experience of acupuncture before, but some of them had never experienced or seen an acupuncture before. So we took a survey on the experience of acupuncture beforehand, and as shown on the screen, 48% of the participants, they have experienced acupuncture back in their own country or maybe in other sports events, but 51% of them never experienced acupuncture before, and they had their first experience back in Gwangju, and the results are shown as here. So these are some of the pictures back in July, and as you can see, above on the left is that artistic swimming athlete, and she never experienced acupuncture before, and Chuna manual medicine as well. And on her first day, she was very satisfied, and she came to visit one often as well. And the picture on the right is that swimming coach from the Great Britain, and some issues were that staff first take a visit to the clinic, and if they want to see what kind of treatment we offer, and if they think of them, it can help their athletes or something like that, and they bring their own participant athletes as well. And picture on the left below side is that he's a water polo player from the South Africa, and he was never treated with acupuncture in his life, and he had his hamstring issues, and he wanted to get treated with only with manual medicine at the first time, because he was afraid of these acupuncture needles. But after treating him, he still had a little bit of concerns left, so I offered him to get an acupuncture treatment, and it will relieve his pain. And on his second visit, he actually followed my directions, and he took acupuncture treatment in the first time in his life as well, and he was very satisfied. And the picture on the right below is that this is the team doctor from Team Russia, and as you can see, one of the duties of team doctors whenever we participate in the international sports events, we have to look around those polyclinics and what kind of treatment can be offered as well. And he visited here for the first time, and he saw what we offer with acupuncture and Chuna manual medicine and other physiotherapists cupping as well. And on the next day, he brought all the players from different type of sports. So as you can see, some of you may be familiar with using acupuncture in the field of sports, but some of you may not. But this is our website address right here, and this is my email address here. So if you have any further questions, or maybe looking for future co-works or something like that, you can just take a visit at our website, or maybe send me an email as well. Okay, thank you.